Yolanda looked around and saw several of the partners, including the one she worked for. He was being escorted to the conference room where they were interviewing senior partners and higher-ranking staff in the securities division. "These allegations are in connection with..." The agent broke off as Yolanda pulled the papers out from under her sweater. "So, tell us, Ms. Vance, why you would like to work for the Federal Bureau of Investigation," asked the agent who had called her a whistleblower. He raised his pale eyebrows slightly. The other two agents wore slack expressions that Yolanda couldn't read. Her starched white shirt was soaked at the armpits under a tailored designer navy suit. Usually she only perspired when she worked out. The moisture at her scalp caused the roots of her permed and pressed hair to curl slightly. She was grateful that the panel at this second interview was all white. Neither of the crisp 30-ish men nor the dowdy older woman would decode the panic signal in the humid waves at her hairline. Yolanda faced them squarely, having prepared for the question. She couldn't tell the truth. "I don't really want to work for the FBI." "I've always wanted to practice law," she began. That was true. Watching reruns of Perry Mason in middle school, she had always wanted to be an attorney. To stand in a courtroom and bellow beneath thick eyebrows, "But you did go to the beach house, and that's when you killed him, Mrs. Lowell." Then to watch the woman on the stand, eyes wide, Cupid's bow mouth open in horror, crumple at the accusation, weep, confess. But that didn't answer the question of why she wanted to work for the FBI in particular. She couldn't tell them that she had applied 6 months ago as a backup plan that she never thought she'd need. But she couldn't get a job in corporate law since she had turned over those unshredded papers from Bandel, Myers, and Whitney. If she had a little more time, she would have been able to find work in a different type of law, or maybe something out of state. But she was 2 months behind in rent for her Queens studio apartment. When she left Detroit, she had promised herself that as an adult she would always have a stable place to live. She needed a job now, yesterday. Lester Jonikin's book of positive thinking was the closest thing Yolanda had to religion since she was a kid. In high school, she had become disillusioned with Jonikin, but his words still came to her in times of stress. "Let the world know why you are the right person to receive the outcome you desire." She spoke with a confidence she'd learned to fake during her teens. She wasn't a young woman on the verge of homelessness. She was a confident Harvard Law School graduate who was ready to be an asset to the Bureau. "Attorneys at the FBI make significantly less than in corporate law," the woman on the interview panel explained. "I understand," Yolanda said. What good was the high salary at Vandel, Myers, and Whitney when she had lost her job after 6 months when the firm went down for their crooked practices? When a choice not to break the law had made her a pariah in her legal field? She had checked the FBI pay scale and retirement benefits. Even if they moved her around from one city to another, it would be comforting to practice with the law on her side. After the interview, she walked 2 blocks with her confident strut before she allowed herself to lean against a building and exhale. She looked up at the cloudy Manhattan sky and prayed for the first time in decades. "Dear God," or whatever, "please let the FBI hire me." Her unemployment had ended and she had $28.62 in her bank account. Please, God, please. Praying felt ridiculous to her. As she headed to the subway, she peeled off her jacket and exposed her sodden shirt to the autumn wind. During Yolanda's second week of FBI training at Quantico, she found herself struggling with marksmanship. She had never shot a gun before. One of her fellow trainees kept boasting about all the guns his family had. Her first day at the shooting range, he situated himself next to her and started shooting before she had her earphones on. She jumped and the earphones fell out of her hand. Her second time at the range, she made sure to get there early, but she was still jittery and anxious. Her first 2 weeks of evaluations for marksmanship were mediocre. She came to dread the range. Not used to dealing with guys.